to Guruji Dr. DPS, or the viewers and the question raisers. Now we have to move to the second session where Sri K.C. Patnaik sir, Krishnan Patnaik sir is waiting us. Krishnan Patnaik sir is a motivational speaker, spiritual seeker, a follower of Swami Chinmayanand. He is a social activist, and Sri K.C. Patnaik sir is a former general manager, Central Chinmay Mission in Books and Publication Department. For 25 years, he was there in Mumbai. And after being motivated by Swami Chinmayananda, he started Chinmay Mission and Chinmay Vidyalaya in Raurkela, where he has organized different spiritual and academic programs. He did his MBA degree from USA, and after that he has moved to different countries like Germany, Nepal, and other countries, where he delivered different speeches on the mission. His motivational speeches include value education, communication skills, and others. He was a major blood donor. He was a past Rotary president who has many contribution in philanthropic activities. I don't want to reflect upon all the things that he did because of the paucity of time. Now, I directly request and welcome Krishnan Patnaik sir to deliver his speech on harmony of life. Over to K.C. Patnaik sir to deliver his speech on harmony of life. Pranam sir. Pranam sir.
Sir, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You
Am I audible? Okay. Good evening and pranams to everybody. After having listened to the enlightened talk by Professor Shashi Kumar ji, I am afraid that I am bringing back down to the ground level, so I don't know how it will match. Because you have taken a dishes in a 7-star hotel, now you are having a dishes in a dhaba near the roadside for a common man to understand. And I will be speaking from a common man understanding, not as a philosopher. I am not a philosopher as such. Man is a social being, and he seeks happiness always. All his actions from home to tomb is to seek happiness. The ways and means may be different. At the same time, he longs for association. Supposing you keep a man giving all the luxuries, all comforts, everything, and nobody will meet him, he will become mad. What is happening in America, for the senior citizens, when they keep it, all luxuries is there, comforts are there, TV is there, everything is there, but they feel miserable because they want social living. They live together. And when you are living together with association, there should be integration, there should be coherence, there should be understanding, there should be harmony. Like, when a musical orchestra is going on, there should be coherence and coordination between the musical instruments to give good music. So to start with, a man himself also has to be integrated. A man should be a man of integrity. Integrity means I don't mean of corruption. He is a constitution of body, mind, and intellect. So his action, his thoughts, his words, all three should go together in uniformity. If it doesn't happen, he is a confused person. He will be a problem to himself and he will be a problem to others. So needs to integrate himself by uniformity. I mean, what he thinks, what he speaks, what he does. It should be in uniform. It should not contradict each other. Then only he will be able to, like that, you are given a very good dish delicious food is offered. But if you are physically not fit, your physical system is wrong, you are suffering from diabetes or indigestion or some other problem of taking food, so you cannot enjoy the food. So you are not to be fit also to enjoy the food outside. Similarly, in relations to others and outside, you need to be integrated person. And then now comes happiness. How to be happy? Normally people think that they will be happy, and no, it is not possible, because if you want to be happy, if somebody is not happy in your family, You say, for example, your wife is not well, your daughter is not well for some other mentally or physically. Even your servant is not well. He has some problem. That maid is not coming. He has some. Am I edible?
Yes,
Yes,
Am I
audible,
sir.
sir.
audible?
Audible, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay. So then you need to see that your maid servant also is happily living. He has no problem. Supposing your neighbor has problem, his husband is coming drinking and beating his wife and all sorts of nuisance is going on, you cannot live happily. So you expect that your neighbor should be also happy so that you live happily. Supposing in the recent colony there is a riot and communal disharmony is going on, violence is going on, you cannot live happily. Similarly, the adjacent district or state there is some disturbance, you cannot able. What happens in Pakistan? We are feeling disturbance. Now what happens in Ukraine and Russia? The whole world peace is disturbed. So in nutshell, if you want to happy, everybody will happy. That is why our Vedic scriptures prescribe Jana Kalyana mantra. Om Sarvesam Swasti Bhavatu. Om Sarvesam Santi Bhavatu. Sarvesam Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesam Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha. Sarve Santu Niramaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Paschit Dukhavam Bhavet. That means may all be blessed, may all be peaceful, may all be fulfilled, may auspicious be well, may all be careful and healthy, may all the auspiciousness and may have everyone be, may nobody should be unhappy, may everybody be happy. And this is the prescription given by, it is not telling let me be happy, let all be happy, so that I will be happy. And the UNO is established also in the same objective, so to say. Even our Pima Mission motto says to give maximum happiness to maximum people for maximum time. So to start with, the basic fundamental matter is that you have to help others so that he is happy, his grievance, his miseries are reduced. It may not be possible for all, but it is a basic need, basic requirement. I will tell you, but normally what happens, whenever we think of helping somebody, a feeling comes in our mind that probably our happiness will be reduced, our interest will be affected, and we may have to lose something. But it is not. But notionally, we have a such feeling, such fear, such apprehension. I will give some personal experiences to what I have felt, how happiness comes if you help others. When I returned from Calcutta once after my tour, Mali was standing near my gate and in the morning, and I asked him why he is waiting. He asked that I want to meet Patnaik. He did not. He never met me, and he did not know me. I told, why do you want it? No, my son. He said that his son is undergoing a, is going to have a surgery, major surgery due to some wound on the thigh, and he has postponed the surgery because I was not there. I mean, waiting for Patnaik to come to give blood. So I asked him, how do you know that he will give blood? No, no, I understand that he never refuses, he will help. So I postponed my visit and I'm waiting. Then I told, okay, go to the hospital and Patnaik will be there and do the needful. So when I reached the hospital staff first rebuked him why I was brought, because the hospital staff feels that I am the reserve stock. Whenever they want, they can take me. So they first rebuked him. Anyway, I gave blood, and after the giving blood, and I had found that they had taken some paper signed by me prior to donating. I didn't read it. After donation, when I read it, it was written they are donating about 100 rupees. Which I am talking about 40 years back. Some 100 rupees for some fruits and one day special cable. I fired them. I got annoyed. I told, do you think that for this only I am coming for giving blood? You want to snatch my happiness and joy? So I cleared the paper anyway. And after about 1 or 2 years, I met the same Mali and his son helping in a marriage party with some cooking. And the Mali introduced his son that he is appearing for matriculation. And you know, that feeling of his confidence on me that I will help him. And having helped, I was so happy. That joy cannot be purchased, cannot be measured, and cannot be expressed. That is the real happiness. Similarly, when I was since I was veteran and many of the people, the children were going to school and college during examination, the neighbors would say, "You call uncle, he will drop you at the college or school in the right time if the auto fellow or the rickshaw fellow doesn't turn up." And many times I used to do that and drop them and pick them. I mean, in the right time. Even strangely, some of the people who are going in night shifts, they will be asking that because their wife is in advanced stage of pregnancy, they will say that you call Patnaik, he will drop you in the hospital for treatment, whatever. So what I mean to say is that he gives a great joy, and it enhances joy, and that joy, that happiness is uncontaminated, genuine. Even in Bombay, I have seen one of my friends. He was one of the richest persons there, and having helping them for the cancer patients and giving scholarship, etc. And why he is doing that? He has everything for his happiness, but because it adds to his joy, it gives happiness. So to cut short, I will not go to more giving more instances, but it gives happiness when you help. That is one thing one has to understand. And if you want to help others, you will get happiness. That is one. The another thing is that don't suddenly create opinion about or expect to see something what you expect. That is wrong. I will give a great example of President Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln got annoyed when General Grant could not handle the Civil War and he was very unhappy. And he was about to fire and he called his secretary. And he has a habit. Whenever he gets angry, he will call his secretary and shout and do many things. But he has to give an instruction not to act as per the expressions or the orders or instructions given in that kind of mood of mind. So he says he dictated a letter telling that you have not done rightly, you should not have acted like this, that, so many things. And as per the instructions, the letter was not sent. After 2 days, the secretary came and asked President Lincoln, "Can I send the letter?" No, no, don't do that because he was in the front line. He knows better what was the situation. I should not bring conclusions and think that what is wrong, what is right, without taking all the factors into consideration. So we have to put complete attention to the factors and the circumstances before doing, and we should be above likes and dislikes and pride and prejudice. This is possible when somebody meditates. His thinking and his concentration, his understanding of the factors will be clear. And particularly, as you say, so far and one should have not have jealousy and hatred. See the case of Duryodhana in Mahabharata. If Duryodhana would have not jealousy and hatred towards Pandavas, and he would have simply given 5 villages to the Pandavas, both would have been happy. But by jealousy bringing the disaster of the war, what happened? Nobody was happy. Ultimate end result was nobody was happy. Though the Pandavas won the war, whatever it is, but it is only disaster. It was a tragedy. Now the another most important thing is that to have a good relationship with others for harmony, one has to patiently listen. Listening and sharing is important. Listening means not hearing. Listening means you have to listen in a such a way the other party feels that you are listening him carefully. Sometimes, the wife will be telling about certain issues, problems of the house or needs, and the husband will be preparing to go to the office, putting the papers in the briefcase. Though he might be attending and hearing, but he is doing other things. So the wife thinks that he did not listen. Many might feel the same thing. And so you have to make him feel that you are listening so that he feels consolation. I will tell you one thing. When I was working in PCMT Bombay, naturally when you are working in a big organization, sometimes you have some situations which may not be palatable. You may feel hurt, you may feel disappointed or certain things. So I used to sit because I had nobody to share with. I used to sit to lead. talk to Swamiji, Swami Chiravanji, who is the head of the global organization, looking after 400 centers, 100 schools, and so many things. But still, he was so kind to give me time to listen alone. And when I will be narrating my problem, he will be listening so attentively, no interruption, no questions, nothing. And by listening itself, I feel very consoled and encouraged. Necessarily, you may not agree what somebody is telling, you may not accept what he is telling, but listening itself. Sometimes you go to a doctor, the doctor, before even seeing, because he diagnosis properly, immediately writes a prescription. The patient doesn't feel satisfied because they want to sunai nahi. क्या डिस्क्रिप्शन देगा? And I have told last time in my talk about the towel incident, because there was no sharing, they didn't express each other. The husband and wife about to divorce because the husband did not listen to keep the towel outside after taking bath, and wife felt he is being ignored and having some affair with the secretary, and they were about to divorce. So sharing is important, and sharing is sincerely. Your feelings when you share with others, so sometimes you get guidance, sometimes you, but if not anything, at least you feel relaxed. If you don't share with anybody, share with God. Go to the temple, or church, or mosque, and share it. The other important thing is that choose your thoughts, identify your thoughts. Don't entertain thoughts which are not desirable. So sometimes, just you surround some advertisements, some other allurements, this thing, that thing. So you have to judge whether that thought should be entertained, legitimate or not. Otherwise, one will stop that. So thoughtful action enables the progress, and it gives inner peace also. The other important thing is that delay negative thoughts. As I mentioned about um, President Lincoln, he delayed the negative thoughts because the moment he felt that this is going to happen, and he was having a different notion about how the General Grant handled the situation, civil war. So avoid negative thoughts and delay the anger. If you get angry instantly, now you only suffer. The person on whom you agree, but because your blood pressure will increase, your balance of mind will go, your decision will go wrong, everything goes wrong. How do you, how does it help? So if you postpone the anger and think later on, you will find there is a reason for everything. Even wrongly or rightly, somebody had done things. It is not necessarily to get angry, but you can find out why it happened. So you feel pacified and think always positively. Think always, because particularly the results of anger is more painful than the cause of anger. Please analyze. You will realize that actually I am the victim. The man who gets angry is victim. Showing anger and getting angry is different. Swami Chinmayananda was very disciplined and very much particular about everything. So if somebody does not act in a proper manner, he expresses his anger in a very firing mode. But next moment he was cutting humor. But in our case, what happens? If you are angry at home, you carry same thing to a house, it reflects in the people, and the entire thing becomes unhappy. You generate the unhappiness because of something happened in the home or something in the office, we carry it to the house. So that should not happen. And think positively. That is a very important thing. Everybody should think that every day that I will do better than yesterday. I will help somebody. I will make somebody happy. It gives a positive thinking how to behave in a better way to not to hurt anybody. This is very important and which can be cultivated by anybody. It's not a difficult thing. Build relationship without expectation. Relationship with expectation means commercial. Relationship without expectation, the relationship with expectation will not last long. It will create distrust and misunderstanding and be disharmony. So why we should not expect? A normal relationship should give more than what you take. You should not expect to take more. You should expect to give more rather than taking. And relations should correct an individual, not challenge him or compare with him. It should be in a spirit of helping him. It is a spirit of correcting oneself. And relationship without love is not possible. There should be love. It is said that one cannot love without giving, and one can give without loving. Mark you are. One cannot love without giving, but one can give without loving. That is right. That is with a purpose. That is not a gift. Once it so happened, a old couple visited Swamiji hand to hand. The husband is about 88 years or 86 years, and wife is also about 80 plus. And both were coming with a cheerful mood hand in hand. And Swamiji asked, what is the secret? Because nowadays people get married, fall in love in the morning, get married in the midday, and they get divorced in the evening. How is it you are maintaining so good relationship for such a long time, so many years? So the husband told, Swamiji, we have some common weaknesses which are keeping us together. He asked the wife, what is the secret? Wife told Swamiji, people like because of, people love in spite of. Mark the verse. People like because of, people love in spite of. If you are loved, in love, it is unconditional. Love is unconditional. If love is conditional, it is not love. And love is eternal. I cannot say love is no partners. I say I used to love and today I love. That means it was not real love. So love without, relations should be with love. Then it leads to harmony life. That is why Chinmay Mission Place says we belong to one family, bound with each other, love and respect. We live honestly the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. This is declared every day when the members have satsang or discussion, they do it. Now, the other important thing is that avoid publicizing the negative attitude. You don't publicize somebody, you find something wrong with somebody, don't go on publicizing about his negative factors. This gives a bad spirit and bad feeling instead of helping him. So, and don't exhibit anger, particularly before the children, and that will show arrogance. That gives a more wrong message to become like that. The children will become that, and it also gives a disharmony spirit all over. And particularly admit when you are wrong, when I am wrong, because that gives a good message that I am wrong. Now I am corrected it. So I do not encourage the negative spirit, nor I encourage my negative actions. The more other important thing, as I have told, love is a thing which excuses everything. Love is very powerful, very potential to everybody. When there is love, you don't find the mistake in the other person. It becomes sin. When there is no love, a small mistake also appears to be big. There is a joke that if you are in love with somebody, even if the respect doesn't give bad spelling, but if you hate somebody, even if he puts a bad perfume, you feel bad about him. When he appears, he becomes sweet. So, love is important for having good relationship and appreciate the good aspects of a person when you are living with, or acknowledge his help openly, honestly, so that he feels that he has done something and he feels happy. He doesn't expect, but it is good to acknowledge so that it establishes a relationship and it extends the relationship. Appreciate the constructive criticism and think positive. Criticism not bad. If somebody is criticized with a good motive, with a purpose to improve, there is nothing wrong. So one should appreciate why he is criticizing and why he is criticizing. And we have to see the motive behind it, not the political criticism. That is, for the sake of criticism, for sake of opposition, you do it. Not for that. Constructively, you do it, and with a positive thinking to improve the person, to correct the person, to give a right message, to a right direction. The other most important thing is avoid repeating the negative thoughts. Negative thoughts, if it's entertained for a long time, it generates depression, frustration, and even your character change. Actions will go wrong, decisions will go wrong. So once you know that this is not correct, put it, reject it immediately, and not nourish it. We should not nourish it. We should not entertain it. We are living in the present, and we should live with the present also, and we should live. Our present makes life better, and repetition makes it bitter. The other important thing, normally we feel the situations are always changing. The whole world, everything is changing. No situation, no time is permanent. No situation is permanent. Sometimes when the situation is bad, we get disturbed and we feel down. So at that time, I will tell an incident. One of the merchants, before he died, he told his son, he gave a ring and he left a message in that. He told when you will be in a very difficult situation, more critical situation, you open this ring and there is a message inside it. And after some days he died. And this young man was having good business and sent the ships to different places and his marriage was under negotiation. But the reports came that due to storm and other disturbances on the sea, the ships are not being located and we are not sure whether it can be located or not. And this young man felt very frustrated, very upset because everything and the marriage was kept in abeyance. So he was thinking to commit suicide. Before he committed, thinking of committing suicide, he remembered his father's advice and opened the ring. And there it is written, even this will pass away. This will not remain. So he said that this is now a bad situation is going on, so this will go away. He waited. And after 2 days, reports came, receipts returned and recovered, and everything was restored. His wealth also got back, everything. And his marriage was also settled. So he became a happy man. What I mean to say is that situations are not permanent, that one should not be upset or should not be excited, elated by a situation too good. He should keep his mind in equilibrium, with quietness, and not being excited, not being upset, so that he keeps harmony in his life. And the other most important thing is we don't give quality time to our family members in being so busy with earning and other engagements. Last time in my talk, I had told a real incident that how a young girl was feeling that his father doesn't love because he doesn't give time to him. So he has presented a car on his birthday. He was feeling that no, my father doesn't love because he doesn't give time to spend time with me for a picnic or for going having fun or going to some movie or going to party or anything. So everybody should give some time as a part of duty, quality time to the family members, to the children, to have a harmony in life. Sometimes we act with prejudice. You know, if prejudice is not there, life is very simple. It could have been very, as Swami in our Dr. Radhakrishna told, it's simple to be happy, but difficult to be simple. I give a small example. Supposing there is a tender, for work of for certain work, tender notice is given and quotations were invited. So there were people there, quotations came and the officer was very efficient and At that time, his wife told his wife's brother-in-law is also quoted for that particular job, but he doesn't respond to the specifications. But his wife wants that his brother's brother-in-law should get that job. Now this officer is in a peculiar position because if he tries to help the person, CBI will be after him and he will be in trouble. And if he doesn't help, the wife and the relatives will think bad of him. Otherwise, his efficiency made the case very confusion, putting several queries, questions. As you know, the bureaucrat sometimes do that. And it went on like that, and it delays the project also. So, what is the problem? The problem is that supposing he would have cleanly thought, oh, this is the case and these are the specifications, I have to give the order. Very simple. Within a minute, he can take a decision. Because of a prejudice, he created a problem. The same problem came with Arjuna in the Mahabharata also. When he was confronted with his close relatives and his guru, his seniors, his grandfather, and the cousin brother, he told, no, I will not fight. It is not proper. I should not fight. I will take sannyas and this is violence. I advocate ahimsa. But where it happens when he fought other battles, his duty was to fight and he has fought in earlier cases. There is no problem. When it comes to relatives and when he felt that they are my own, he felt prejudice. No, I should not. But his duty was to fight as a soldier. And that is the problem with everybody in our life, in every day. We identify with a spiritual manner what to do, what not to do, what is right, what is wrong, we don't consider. That creates harmony, that creates disturbance within ourselves and also outside. If somebody knows that, you know, this person is very justified and he will not do injustice to anybody, it makes things very simple. People will not approach, and people will not expect. The other most important thing is that many people think that what can I do? I cannot help. I am not capable of helping anybody. Who says that? Everybody is capable of doing something. God has given you the potentiality to help. That is why he is gone. It is not to just it is not by like animals. And you are not to act by like animals. So you have to see for yourself as well others, and you have to act not by impulses, but by the intellectual thinking, by discrimination. The animals act by impulses, but human beings are to act by intelligence, by intellectual discrimination, what is right and what is wrong. And similarly, he has the capability to help others. Supposing your neighbor is in trouble, you can at least find in the morning when you get up, you should ask, how is he? Whether he is trouble or not also. Every morning when you see somebody, your friend or relative, if you ask, how is he? He feels, somebody is with me, somebody is close to me, somebody is concerned to me. And if possible, you listen to what he's telling sincerely, but not like in America or in somewhere like, yes, they say, hey, how are you? When the car stays, red light, and he sees the other friend, hey, how are you? He is starting telling something, then the car passes. Then again he says again, hey, how are you? It's not like that. You sincerely listen what he's telling and sincerely inquire what is the problem. By inquiring, how is he, whether you are able to help or not, if the person feels that somebody is with me, I am not alone. The other most important thing is that, one should not feel lonely. Lonely is a negative factor. Lonely is a negative factor. Loneliness, it should be replaced by aloneness. And I will tell you my experience. When I went to Bombay about 25 years ago, I was persuaded, I was dissuaded by people that why I'm going because I don't have relatives, I don't have friends, anybody there. So I will have difficulties to stay there. So But anyway, because I was so much attached to this mission and I wanted to render some service, I went there and I lived there for 25 years alone. I didn't have any relative, but I never felt lonely because I had every day I was meeting people, same people, I was exchanging, I was enjoying it rather, meeting people, exchanging thoughts, getting new ideas from people. So some people, feel lonely even in the midst of crowd in a party because they cannot accommodate, they cannot adjust themselves. They feel lonely. So don't feel lonely. Lonely lead to frustrations and many mental problems. Enjoy lonely. That is why Swami Chinmaya said, if you cannot enjoy with yourself, how can you enjoy company of others? One should learn how to enjoy his own company. And that is possible and that is more peaceful. And that I have felt the 25 years I spent at Bombay in CCMT being alone. That was the most pleasant time I feel. I remember. The other thing is that we are in this world playing different roles. I am father, I am also husband, I am also son, I am brother, a sister, and I am also friend to somebody. Also, I am an officer. So many roles you are having. So you cannot behave like an officer when you meet your wife. One cannot behave as a father if he is in the office. So every role has its own uh, role to play, and he has to act accordingly, appropriately, properly when he is dealing with the proper person. So many characters are there. He is none of them. Only consciousness is common in all the personalities. All the none of them is permanent. He is neither a officer nor he is only consciousness. But when he is playing the role of a father, he is to behave like a father to his son, husband to his wife, or wife to his husband, or a father to his daughter, and friend to a friend, like that. So the common factor consciousness is to realize and at the same time behave in the appropriate manner relatively with the relatively with nature. And as I mentioned, you don't act mechanically. Mechanically acting is only possible by animals. They act by impulses. They don't use intelligence. They feel like kicking. It is said that freedom is that when you don't do what you feel like doing, do what you should think you should do. I felt like kicking, not that. My freedom ends when my nose of the other person is there. My movement is ended till his nose. I cannot move my hand as I wish. And the other most important thing is we always expect to behave nicely, but we don't think of behaving same way to other person. If you expect to behave nicely, we should also behave in the same manner. We should behave in a manner we expect to behave. Then only there will be harmony of relationships, there will be understanding, there will be peace, there will be goodwill, etc. Sometimes, and we have to give no to bad habits. As I mentioned in my last class, habits, if they are bad, is dangerous. So once you realize by introspection that one habit is bad, it should be given up. It should not be continued under any circumstances. It should be condemned and be given up. And secondly, many times we cannot oblige everybody what we expect. It's not possible due to our limitations. But it not necessarily one should be rude for that. This is very, very essential for everyday life in our family, in our outside, in the office, everywhere. So one should know how to say no politely and nicely and sweetly. I will give one instance. This case in USA, in the bank, when I was standing, one of the friends I found He was returning, and I told what is the matter. He told, oh, I had given an application for some loan, and that application is rejected for some technical reasons. I'm going back. After about 15 days or 3 4 weeks, I happened to the bank and I met the same person again. I said, hi, how are you? Then he told, no, I have come about that the loan application. I told, last time you told that the loan application is rejected. Yes, yes, it is rejected. But the girl at the counter, she speaks that rejection, that regret in such a nice manner. I feel like listening again and again. You see, even if she felt that regret that I cannot help you, he is told in a such a nice manner that I like to hear it. But sometimes we get something gift in a manner we don't like it because of manner of giving. Offering side we don't like it. Or a message comes from the government for sanctioning certain amount or something like that. But the language and the manner, it hurts. It doesn't please us. It displeases us. So one should know how to politely say no so that relationship becomes, good. In spite of you not obliging the person which is requesting, it is not necessary. So always this criteria of finding that how to be helpful to others, to make others happy, because our happiness is sustained by others' happiness. Though we don't appreciate or we may not be conscious about that, the fact remains it is there. One cannot be happy independently if the surroundings, if the belongings, if his companions, if his employees. And that's why in corporates also they have provision for developing the peripheral area. Welfare projects, welfare programs are there to make the inhabitants and residents happy nearby. Everybody knows that is a law. And even in the companies, many of the countries they have got welfare programs, entertaining, giving medical help and various other help besides the salary, so that their employees are happy. In Rotary Club, there are there is a they do a lot of service, local service also, what I mentioned, and they have a four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and betterment? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? These are the four things one should think, say, and do. So, if we want to be happy, we should have in our mind that we should not make others unhappy. We should not think that at the cost of others we will be happy. On the other hand, we are happy because others can be happy. Because if sorrow is shared, it is reduced. And happiness is shared, it is enhanced. When there is a good function for a festival, where marriage or a wedding or birthday, why do you call people? We want to share our happiness so that our happiness increase. We want to feel that others feel happy about our. We want to join them also their happiness. So happiness is such a thing which cannot be too much selfish. I mean, what I mean to say that individually you cannot. You need to make feel and appreciate that I must make others also happy. Then we will be happy. And as I told you in our scriptures, always it is said, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. So time is already short and time is already taken out. So I will not take more time to exhaust because it can be further exhaustively discussed. It is a very common thing what I have discussed. It is not, I don't say it is so much philosophical, but it is day to day what we feel, we experience in our life, it we practice in our life to make a good society and good life. And let us have a good life with good relationship, wishing everybody happy. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. I'm thankful to everybody for giving me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts. And the other discussions are very highly intellectual, and I appreciate, and it enhances my knowledge and thinking. By the by, Dr. Shashi Kumar has talked about conscious living. It happens that we have a book, Conscious Living, by Swami Ishwarananda. He is the Acharya of Chinmaya Mission in San Jose in USA. and it's a very popular book there, and it is also explained in a very simple way. So whatever Dr. Sasikumar has spoken, if anybody reads this book, it will supplement and it will give further more enriching thoughts on the subject. And with this, I conclude my talk. But I am available if any clarification yesterday which I could not explain properly, I will explain to you as far as possible. And I thank once again all of you for bearing to listen to me. And I'm happy to listen to Dr. Sasikumar, which enhanced my thinking. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Patnaik sir, for your motivational speech on the harmony of life. We learned from your speech that when all is in agreement with the truth of life, it leads to a harmonious life. There is harmony in cosmos. There is also harmony in individual life. But the harmony of individual life has to be cultivated and established by us. As you said, the life of positive thinking or positive attitude is a life of harmony. And freedom from the mechanical mode of life, freedom from the bad habits and all this leads to also a harmonious life. And in connection with your speech, Dr. TPS has also already focused that conscious life or balanced life in our day-to-day activities leads to a harmony of life. Sir, by citing Swamiji's philosophy and your long social and administrative experience in corporeal sectors and the study of scriptures, you have focused on the different rules and disciplines of harmonious life. So thanks so much, sir. You have enlightened us through your speech. And may I request Dr. K. Onan Rao for stating the interpretation. Over to Dr. Rao for interpretation.
Thank you, Dr. Maharna. Well, it was a nice lecture. Well, Dr. K.C. Patnaik sir spoke on the Book of Life. Well, we can now interact. We can now invite people to make observations or raise queries on the talk of K.C. Patnaik sir. Well, I have a question in the chat box, but before that, if somebody wants to say something, well, they are welcome to unmute. Well, Ranjit Ghosh sir, are you ready with some observations, sir? Dr. Ghosh. Well, I don't see him now. Well, anybody who wants to speak on, make some observations on what K.C. Patnaik sir spoke on, any comment, any observation, or any query? Well, I don't see anybody. Well, Ranjit sir is not there, but probably. Rajpura sir, you want to say something? I think it's your area again. Yes.
Yeah, very well said, KC sir. It couldn't have been better. If I put the two together, what you said and what Dr. TPS said, both of them can be combined together in contemporary life in terms of understanding what is conscious way of living and then understanding how practical relations can be combined. Now, if we put the two together and say, I am happy because I am in spirituality level 1, 2, 3, and number 2, in my practical life, whether at work or home, my relations with my family, with my boss, with my subordinate are adequate. I think the two can be combined together. It's been a wonderful session. Thank you so much, sir. Grateful.
Thank you, Dr. Rajpurohit, for your observations. Well, Ranjit sir, are you back? Are you there? Well, I don't think Dr. Ghosh is there. Well, anyway, Dr. Professor
Ranjit sir is back.
Okay, Dr. Ghosh is there. Dr. Ghosh is there.
There, Dr. Ghosh. Well, I don't see Dr. Ghosh. Well, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Mr. Patnaik has given very mm, nice description of how to live in harmony with others. So one thing that in his lecture, what I have understood, if I have understood him properly, he suggests he has not put his version into any philosophical philosophical sayings, but the spirit of Mahabharata, that I should not do something to others which I will not like to do others to me. So this is one thing what I have got from him, and this is how the harmony can be maintained, because if I can understand others, others will understand me. So this type of harmonious living, one thing is important is in this context, I would like to say, whether you will appreciate this or not, that we have for conscious living, for a harmonious living, we have to develop a self-love first. Unless we love ourselves, we cannot love others. So this is how my happiness will be extended to the other's happiness, and not the other way around, because others' happiness, I will get the clue from them, but I will try to promote my happiness so that I can help some more into becoming happier. And in this way, we can extend the scope of happiness to more and more people. This is what I have understood. And if Mr. Patnaik has something to say on this, please clarify. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ghosh. Thank you, Dr. Ghosh. Well, Dr. Ghosh says that my happiness is more primary, more important. I need to see my happiness first in order to find happiness in others too. So that is important. So how do you see, sir? What next, sir?
No, that is what I told. You should enjoy, because Swamiji has told, if you cannot enjoy your own company, how can you give company to others? How can you enjoy company of others? So one should learn to love. First of all, the love starts from yourself. If I don't love myself, how can I love others? So there is and you cannot live, you cannot do anything unless you have love for yourself. So that goes without saying, and that is why I told that even you should enjoy being alone. Don't feel lonely, but enjoy the aloneness, and that is great. And that is how you can generate happiness to others, and you can give happiness to others. Also, you can give company to others, and you will be a source of good company. Otherwise, if you are miserable, how can you make other person happy? So one should not feel miserable. One should be always happy and love himself for everything good. That's true. And I hope this is being recorded. If I can get it, because some of the people requested, because it is late, they are not able to attend.
So from both the positions, so we come with two positions now. So see happiness in others to create your own happiness. Number one, self-love should be extended to love others. So what, yes, if you are finding happiness in you, you should extend your happiness to others. So both the ways it should run. So maybe that's the position we should stand by. Is it, sir? Is it so, sir? Is it the position?
Yes.
That both the ways?
Yes, that is it.
Thank you, sir. Well, there are no questions in the chat box. Well, this all. Well, anybody who wants to speak on this? Well, Pramod Kumar Das, sir. Well, you want to say something on this subject?
Now, both the talks supplement each other. 1 minute, I just mute Patnaik sir. Yes, both the talks supplement each other. Dr. Shashi Kumar ji spoke about consciousness. That was very important. And Patnaik sir exhibited himself as that example. When he was speaking, he was conscious of the fact that he is speaking. That was wonderful. That means he is conscious that he is not a philosopher. He is conscious that what he is saying, he is meaning that. What he says, he means that. He spoke for 40 to 50 minutes. At that time, he was conscious that he is speaking something to the audience which is very meaningful and which is very significant. And he spoke very nicely that nobody can be happy isolatedly. Every person should create the proper ambience of happiness. That means he should make happy others. The family members should be happy. The if you are working in an office, then our surrounding must be must have that ambience. Otherwise, we cannot be happy. So, as Dr. Rao sir said, that it has a double effect. If I am happy, it has impact on others, and if others are happy, that has impact on us. So either way, happiness has good effect, has good result. So that is only possible, as Dr. Sasikumarji said, that it is only possible, and also at one point Patnaik sir also has also said that it is only possible by the um, momentous consciousness. Momentous consciousness. Every existence is momentous. Every existence is momentary. The moment I am existing, I should be conscious of that. What I am saying, what I am doing, what I am feeling, I should be conscious. Then only I can live happily and I can give happiness to others. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Das. Well, one good thing that Dr. Ghosh spoke of, well, he philosophically he did put the entire scheme of what Patnaik sir spoke in a line. He said, we should not do anything to others which we don't do to our own self. If we are avoiding something to do for ourselves, we should not do the same thing to others. If something brings pain to us, so similar pain some has to experience in doing that to others. So if that is the message, then maybe life would be very peaceful. There would be harmony all around. But we are not in that pattern. We comment on others, we do all nasty things on others, but at the same time, we don't want similar things to be on us. So that is the cause of the root cause of all disharmony, all chaos out there in the world. Thank you, Dr. Ghosh, for Professor Dr. TPS. Yes, sir. Welcome.
Namaskaram, Patnaik ji. It was nice listening to you. Kena kena prakarena yasya kasyabi dehinaha sandosham janayatvatna tadevam ishvara pujanam. Do something somewhere, somehow to make others happy, but not temporary happy, a longer time happiness. It was so well established with a lot of personal experienced examples. Pranams. Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. TPS. Well, what I can say is K.C. Patnaik sir, well, while being associated with Chinmaya Mission, he has come across people, across life situations. That's why he gives examples from life, not that he's taking any book as a reference, rather he's taking his experience in life to present this lecture. That's how this lecture is more practically oriented. He speaks of the life as he sees the life by taking all the experiences over the years in connection with the mission, with the mission. So thank you, Patnaik sir. Well, I don't see any questions in the chat box. Well, there are appreciations from Sravani Mishra, and she says a lot of things she has learned from you. Well, we did learn from both the lectures. Now, I should say both the lectures were really good, and they have really helped us to enhance ourselves, to have a conscious living, to have a balanced life. By taking Dr. Sasikumar, when he said being unconsciously conscious and consciously unconscious. So there is a need of a balance, and if we understand the secret of that balance, maybe you are managing life in a beautiful manner, and maybe there would be all harmony around. I think so. Well, thank you both the speakers. Now over to Dr. Maharana for carrying on the further course of action. Over to Dr. Maharana.
Okay, thanks so much. Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Rao, for your excellent way of the moderating both the sessions. And today, in the beginning, I told that it is a great day for all of us. That today, both the speakers have inspired us, motivated us to live a life of conscious living, to have a conscious living. And though Patnaik sir has not mentioned the name of a philosopher, but I think his speech reflects the conscious way of morality and conscious way of living. And today we all have been benefited by both the stalwarts, both the motivational speakers, Dr. TPS and Patnaik sir. And with this, I offer my gratitude to both the speakers. And I request Dr. K. Rao to propose a hearty vote of thanks to both the speakers and the audience and the other question raisers. Over to Dr. Rao.
Thank you, Dr. Maharana. Well, it was really a beautiful evening for all of us. Well, I should thank first of all Dr. TPS for a very good lecture. The last lecture, the science of living, we understood, we could get a lot of things. And today too, the way he presented, well, he's a very busy man. I just see from the WhatsApp, every day he is onto some lecture, and that makes his life so, always connected with people from KG to PG, I say, from KG to PhD, he's connected with everybody. And that is harmonious living. And I feel, because he is not disconnected in any way. He speaks to the common man, he speaks to PhD scholars, he speaks to intellectuals, and he also interacts with KG students. So how he balances, so he finds time for everybody. And that is, I think, the magic in his life, and that, I think, brings in a lot of peace in him, and that creates a sort of harmony in him. And he's a man who can fit to any place. So even the WhatsApp, I see the pictures, he can fit to any structure. I can see him in different roles, in different photographs reflect different personalities. So he's a man with a lot of experience, with a lot of, being able to fit to any circumstance. And that is acceptability, not being conditioned to a certain format. He's always open to anything, to any challenge, to any situation, to any structure, any format. And we are really happy to have him in the philosophy family, because I know he's a very, very busy person, always interacting with people. He loves interaction, and we are really thankful to him for accepting our invitation. And again, we make an invitation that please find some time for us, sir, so that we can have another lecture from you on another topic, sir. Thank you so much. Well, talk about K.C. Patnaik, sir. Well, his lecture was very good, and he spoke of life, though he is not from the philosophy background, but still he spoke of life. He shared the experiences through which he passed through. Last lecture too, he shared many of his experiences, and these instances really add up to the theories that we talk of, the theories that we discuss. And he has seen the life situations, and he has tried to polish up, as Dr. TPS used to say, he has said today even, that polishing is important. A metal turns into a magnet when it is polished. So that polishing comes only when we have real life situations, we have experiences, real life experiences. And K.C. Patnaik sir really has such experiences, and that has shaped his life. And maybe his experiences would be shaping our life so that we can stay blessed, stay harmonious. And I think philosophy family is really thankful to him for his lecture. And talking of Dr. Ghosh, who is the real mentor behind all this, he initiates the discussions, he raises questions, very fundamental and really thought-provoking. So I should thank him for being connected with philosophy family every evening, on every Sunday evening, and raising questions and keeping us connected and exploring new things. So thank you so much, sir. So Then moving to Professor Das, he's the man behind. He's always busy. 24/7, he is concerned about whom to invite, what should be the lecture, and he is always making a schedule. We don't spare that much of time which Professor Das devotes to philosophy family. So I should thank him, and also thank him for the observations which he made, and even Dr. TPS was happy with the observations that Professor Das made. So I should thank him, and so thank Kailas Mahana sir for his synopsis and for his interaction, and also for introducing the speakers and being connected with philosophy family so closely, so that we can have these sessions so nicely. So I should thank all the question raisers. Jeevan Rajpurohit sir, well, he is though not from the philosophy fraternity, but his ideas are really philosophical. I have listened to him twice, and really I was inspired by his talks. And he raises fundamental questions and really critical questions. And because he has seen life so closely, because he was also, though from the defense, but he has trained many defense personnel, and he was into many various sorts of management programs. That's how he took in Bhagavad Gita also, so to train many professionals. So that's how he is also so a great resource for all of us, and his thoughts, his ideas also benefited us a lot. And also thank all those who raised questions, Rabdi Mr. and all those who got connected with this webinar and who participated in this webinar. I should not forget even Srinivas Iyer sir, who raised a beautiful question, to which even Sasikumarji sir gave a very beautiful response, saying that don't speak of life and death, taking into different lives into account. We see life and death in this very life itself. And I remember a talk by Professor P.K. Mahapatra sir, who spoke on under the title "One Life is Enough." So that also substantiates what Dr. TPS says, that we see life and death in this very life itself. Why do we talk about something which we have not seen, about which we don't know? So thank you, sir. I thank everybody for making this webinar so successful. And I feel sorry if I have not thanked anybody. Well, I say I thank everybody. I say I should thank Sujata or something like that, Vittal, Dr. Suchitra, who raised even a beautiful question. And I should thank all who got connected with this webinar. So thanking you all, I now move to Professor Pramod Kumar Das for carrying on, or say declaring this meeting closed. Thank you.
Nice, Prabodji. Good association with
Thank you, sir. Pranam, sir. Pranam, sir.
And we had this time people from Africa and Mauritius.
Pranam, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Who got people from outside abroad.
And somebody from US. Yeah, somebody from US.
Thank
we
you.
had from Rajasthan, Gujarat, Bangla, I think different people. And yes, UAE. UAE also people were there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for extending the borders of philosophy family. So there is an invitation pending, and please find time to come back and speak on.
Sure.
Thank you so much, sir, for learning, sir. Thank you, KC Patnaik, sir. Thank you all. Thank you, Pramod Das, sir.